hear it. I can hear it. That clock is ticking, and you know what that means. That means since it's after 11 o'clock, it must be time for your favorite show and mine, Countdown to Armageddon. And today I want to talk to you about, well, two things. One, based off of an article that came out on May 19th, written by Jack Phillips from the Epoch Times. States of Oregon counties vote to secede into Idaho. In a long-shot bid, 5 counties approved measures telling officials to take steps to change the border. So what you have, folks, is a short and simple version. What you got is a bunch of counties in the state of Oregon who are like, we're sick and tired of being part of the state. Those Democrats do not support our views. They refuse to work with us, and they basically have a lockup on state elections. And they want to leave. The counties in Malheur, Sherman, Grant, Baker, and Lake counties have approved various measures that require county officials to basically look into moving into Idaho. Now, in order to do this, of course, the state of Oregon has got to agree, just like the move in California to come up with Jefferson. The idea that Northern California and even Eastern California isn't the same as the western cities. They haven't. What you got is a bunch of Democrats sitting back in all these major cities, and they're making rules and shoving their views down everybody else's throats. They're taking the idea of majority rule and shoving it down people's throats, and if you don't like it, too bad, because they like it and they're quite happy with it. So, here we get to see whether or not what's really the most important thing to another state. Oregon, which seems to believe that everybody has a right to decide what is best for themselves, is this going to apply to the same thing as their statehood? California, we know, says, nope, we want your money. And that's what it's going to come down to. Oregon is not going to want to lose 5 states' worth of revenue. Not whenever they keep trying to spend everybody's money. Just like California refuses to let its northern part leave and form a new state. Why? Because of the money. It's easier for Californians to force people in Northern California to pay outrageous taxes and live under the socialist state of California because they can take their money anyway, whether they like it or not. Because as long as the Democrats control those major cities, the state is going to go that way. Well, the same thing is happening in Oregon. Once again, people in Oregon are fed up with the high taxes and extreme socialism that is prevalent in the Democratic Party, especially in the Democratic Party in the major cities. And the way to get around this is leave. But we're going to see whether or not the state of Oregon will let them leave. Now, I'm here telling you folks, I doubt it. People in Oregon, the government in Oregon, namely the Democrats, aren't going to go for this. They need that money. If they don't have that money, they'd have to cut back their budget. And we all know Democrats don't know how to cut budgets unless it's spending on military. But since the state don't have a military spending, the Democrats, well, I take that back. Democrats are also good at cutting funding for police. Considering we are talking about Oregon, that means that's Portland too. You know, the city whose crime rate has gone up by such an amazing amount since they've made the cops the villains. And that's probably one of the reasons why the rest of the state is like, get me out of here, you guys are stupid and crazy. The question is going to come down to what's more important, to either allowing the people the right to choose their own government or the money. Now, I've already told you, I think they're going to go for the money because, let's face it, Democrats lack spending money, and they need that money. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at part of this article here. This grassroots Ugh, that can almost be a tongue twister, can't it? This grassroots group, Move Oregon's Border for a Greater Idaho, is aiming to have the eastern counties, which are mostly rural, join Idaho because they would be better off with Idaho's more conservative political leadership. This election proves the rural Oregon wants out of Oregon. But just like in California, we'll have to see. If Oregon really believes in the liberal values such as self-determination, the legislature won't hold our counties captive against our will. If we're allowed to vote for which government officials we want, we should be allowed to vote for which government we want as well. Now, McCarter told the Oregonian last year that the bid to join Idaho is more of a lifestyle values judgment than a separate rural and urban residential. Yeah, okay, I see where he's coming from. But Oregon's Jefferson and Union counties already approved the measures last year to promote Move Idaho. Move Idaho's borders for a Greater Idaho border. Petitioners also want to absorb some of the counties in Northern California, which are also mostly rural. All of these places basically are saying, look, we're sick of being under the Democrats. And the question is going to be, will it go through? Idaho's governor, Brad Little, a Republican, told Fox News last year that some Oregonians are looking at Idaho fondly because our regulatory atmosphere and our values. Basically, because Republicans don't overregulate everything and don't tax the shit out of everything. This bid, however, appears to be a long shot as it would require a formal vote in the Democrat-controlled Oregon legislature. If that goes through, Oregon and Idaho would have to come up with a deal, which would then have to be ratified by the U.S. Congress. You know, the one ran by Nancy Pelosi. Throughout the history of the United States, changing state lines has been a rare occurrence, all taking place before the 20th century. In 1792, Kentucky was created from Virginia's territory. Maine was created from Massachusetts in 1820, and West Virginia in 1863. Now, we got two other counties that are looking in Oregon that are looking at similar measures in upcoming elections. Now, two state reps, both Republicans, are planning to introduce a bill about possible relocation of the Idaho-Oregon border in January of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, the situation is very simple. Do you have a right to choose under what government you live? Now, if you believe in social contract theory, i.e. the idea that as a citizen of a country, it's your right and duty to be in charge of your government, then yes. But if you believe that the government is primary, then the answer is no. That you basically have to just suck it up when your government's screwing you over. So let's see what the Democrats believe. Not that I have any question of their beliefs. And that's been today's episode of Countdown to Armageddon. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you didn't like it, hit that like button. Share it with your friends. Share it with your neighbors. Share it with your enemies. Send it to your best friend. Send it to your family. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Cheapest way to support this channel is to subscribe. And if you'd actually like to subscribe, go ahead. Look in the comment section and the description of this episode, and you'll see a list of ways you can donate. Not to mention, you can simply donate through this platform. Thank you all, and you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next time on Countdown to Armageddon.